Hello there, this one is called Glastonbury Guide. I've just come back from doing ecstatic dance in Pendragon House, and it inspired me to make this film to give you an idea about why it is I live here and what it is that's so extraordinary about being in this part of the world. So, as you probably know by now, I live in a street which is less than 2 miles away from the centre of Glastonbury town. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through a few things that I really enjoy doing here. So every Saturday from 1 p.m. till 3 p.m, Pendragon House has what it's called ecstatic dance. There's a whole variety of different DJs that turn up, and the only thing they've got in common is their capability to create extraordinary sounds which really move you and inspire you when you get on the dance floor. It's a relatively small space, and we have usually between about 8 and 16 people dancing at any one time. It starts at 1 p.m. and it finishes at 3 p.m. every Saturday. Every Saturday. And the thing is, you can arrive anytime you like during that time, and you can leave at any time. So it's incredibly free in that sense of not having to turn up for a particular clock time. Lovely feeling. And the way you pay for it is on your way up the stairs to the dance space, there's a donations bowl. So that is something that I greatly recommend. And what I'd say about ecstatic dance is what you're able to do is to move freely just the way you want. And there's no words, so it's a completely words-free space, which is always a rare thing in England at least, and therefore even the more enjoyable. So that's what I've just come back from doing. And on the way to Pendragon House, I did stop off at the fridge, and the fridge is open every day from, I think, is it 9 till 4, something like that. And it's right next to Town Hall. And the thing is, if you've got any food that you want to donate free to the community, you simply rock up there, and if it needs to go in the fridge, you put it in the fridge, and if it's better to go on the shelves, you put it on the shelves. And people put food that they make there, supermarkets and shops donate their extra food, and there's a constant flow of food in and out of that space. And at this time, with people struggling to make ends meet, it's such a good feeling, whichever way it is, whether you're taking food from it because you can't afford it, or you're putting food in there because you've got the surplus. So that is completely free of charge and run by the town council. Something that I did yesterday is I went to Bridie's Yard. Now if you look on your Google Maps, you'll find Bridie's Yard. It's in an area it's on the very edge of Glastonbury, on the outside edge, and the area is called the Beckery, and there's a very famous Bridie's Mound quite close to it. Now Bridie's Yard is open very particular times. It's only Thursday and Friday. Thursdays is open from 2 p.m. till 8 p.m. Fridays is open from midday till 6 p.m. There are fresh organic vegetables and fruits. There's a wide range of whole foods and natural foods. There's also a really comprehensive range of spices, superfoods, superfood fungi, and all sorts of specials. In fact, whenever I go in, there's always something new. They're selling monatomic gold this week, which is extraordinary. And one day I'll make you my film about what happened to me when I took monatomic gold and went to bed. Something that I will always remember. And what you do there is there's scales, there's bags, there's scoops. You choose what you want, you serve yourself, you weigh out whatever it is you want on the scales, work out the price, and there are pens and little squares of paper. You take a square of paper and a pen, and you write down the item, like basmati rice, £8.45, whatever it happens to be. So you do all your shopping in a really casual, relaxed manner, and you've got your piece of paper writing all the items down. And at the end of it all, when you finish your shopping, you total it all up, and the amount that you've got, the notes, you find the person who's collecting the notes that day and give them the notes, and you take the change or loose coins and put it into the bowl. So I thought I'd mention to you Bridie's Yard. That's a great experience. And it's wonderful to be trusted, isn't it? It's a really nice feeling when people trust you. So let's have a look at my list. What have I got to mention now? Yeah, something else I do, and this is a very new development for me. I've started a men's circle. In fact, I was one of the people that turned up on the very first evening recently. And this is now on Thursdays. So Thursdays from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. approximately. It might go over a little bit over. It's an opportunity for men to get together and share about what it is they wish to share in a space which is, the space is held. There's a meditation to start with. A little bit of shamanic work might be done at the beginning. And after the sharing, which is done with a talking stick, then there's an opportunity to share more casually with people before it's time to go home. And that is in the most interesting location. And what I will do is I'll provide a little bit of information about that in the description. And outside the room where we do the work, I should explain there's a lovely open fire in there as well. And outside there's a donations bowl. So you're starting to get a bit of a theme here developing. Something else that's a really great thing to do when you come to Glastonbury is to go to the Tor. The Tor is the heart centre of the world. That is it. On planet Earth, there's one place to go, which is a heart centre. It's the Tor. Fortunately for all concerned, it is owned by the National Trust. And that means it's free. So there's no charge to go up the Tor. Stay as long as you like. 8 times a year there's very special celebration gatherings going on for the solstices, the equinoxes and the cross quarter days. If you want to know more about what that means, I refer you to the description. And what happens on Glastonbury Tor, you get all sorts of extraordinary things. The winter solstice a couple of years ago, there were a couple of Mexican shamans drumming, producing a wonderful wild energy which everyone joined in with. So definitely very highly recommended this Glastonbury Tor. And before you go to Glastonbury Tor or afterwards, right down at the very bottom in Wellhouse Lane, if you go up Wellhouse Lane, and the times of this does vary, but it's approximately 1:30 till 4, and it's not every day of the week. I'll try and provide the most accurate details I can in the description. And the White Spring has to be seen to be believed. Now, the thing about these events I've been speaking about in places, the Tor photography is completely free, but everywhere else, no photography, no filming. Same thing applies to the White Spring. There's a very beautiful wrought iron gate on the outside, and you'll know when it's open because that's just pushed open. And you walk in there, and the first thing that assails you is the sound of running water and the sight of candles, and otherwise it's very, very dark. There's a guardian of the White Spring that is just right nearby, and yes, you've guessed it, there's a donations bowl next to the guardian, and you can go in there and simply allow yourself to commune with what is the water of the White Spring flowing through this building in the most unusual way. And there's a very special pool which is big enough to completely immerse yourself into. So if you love water experiences, that's something that's always available. Very often people will be singing and chanting and making other sounds in there. In fact, the last time I was there, I did my Chamunda mantra because I just felt inspired to do so. I've gone in there, I've heard an opera singer singing. You never know what you're going to experience in the White Spring, so that is extraordinarily highly recommended. There's also the Chalice Well, which is very near to the White Spring. Now there is a charge to go for that one, and that's where the water coming out of the spring is the colour of iron, very deep, rich, reddish brown colour. There is a, for want of a better word, a rectangular trough, which is possible to take your shoes and socks off and simply sit down and put your feet in the waters of the Red Spring. That's something else that's available. And there are lots and lots of other things too. And in fact, if you want to know more, if you're at all curious about what's going on in Glastonbury, this is called the Oracle. It is literally what it says. It is the Oracle. And we get paper copies, and they're free, and they're available from lots of outlets in the town centre. But if you don't live nearby, what I suggest you do is go to glastonburyoracle.co.uk, and you will find that it is all there, and you can find exactly what's going on by looking at that website. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you an example. So Saturday the 17th of December, this is the sort of stuff that's going on. Goddess, Children and Parents, a seasonal workshop for 4 to 7 year olds and 8 to 11 year olds in the Goddess Temple. Arts and Crafts Christmas Market in the Assembly Rooms. Repair Cafe, bring your items for repair. Volunteer to repair or run the cafe, St Edmunds Community Hall. A Craft and Vintage Fair, Glastonbury Town Hall. Soothing Sounds for Heart Healing, Forgiveness in Relation to Grief, Avalon Community Centre. Dance Church, which I spoke about, the DJ on that particular afternoon will be Fly Girl at the Pendragon House. Connecting to the Sacred Heart, Song and Cacao Healing, 6 p.m. Avalon Tribe Kirtan, Avalon Community Centre, 7 p.m. Donations. Beckery Island Charity Auction and Party and Reopening of the Fabric of Life in the Zigzag Building, 7 p.m. Auction, 8 p.m. £5. Medieval Babes, St John's Church, 7:30 p.m. medievalbabes.com. Reggae Dance Night Assembly Rooms, 8 p.m. £5. Silent Disco, Red Brick Building, 8 p.m. Doesn't give a price. That just gives you an idea of some of the things that are on one day before Christmas. Now that actually isn't all that's on. You'd have to wade all your way through the rest of it to find out more. And you have things like this. There's a full page spread there, and it's called Cannabis Bigger Than Jesus. So that might get you to think of what's all that about. So that's my cue to mention Hemp in Avalon. If you go to the Market Cross, which is a big stone monument right in the centre of town, really close to that Market Cross, you will find 1A Market Street, and that is called Hemp in Avalon. And this is the shop which is the place where Free does all his wonderful work, and it's a place to find out about hemp, cannabis, and anything you might want to know about that particular sacred plant. There are all sorts of interesting things available to look at and for sale, and there are various special occasions which are advertised in the Oracle, and when these events happen they're free. The guy who's running the place, his name is Free, and it's a whole experience in itself. There's so much more I could tell you about Glastonbury, but that just gives you an idea, and that is my guide to Glastonbury. So what I'd like to say to you is this. As many of you know, I'm a shaman, and one of the things I've decided to do is to offer people the opportunity to come and stay in my guest house, which is staying with me for a few days, and have the opportunity to experience and explore all that is available around here. So it's half an hour's walk from where I live to the town centre of Glastonbury. It's 10-minute cycle ride, and it's 5-minute car ride, 5-minute bus ride. So if this interests you at all, I suggest what you do is go to the description and find out what information I put there if you'd like to book yourself a place. I train shamans here. I enjoy my shamanic life here, and I work with clients as well. So if you'd like to know more, please look at the description, and thank you very much for sharing with me this experience of my guide to Glastonbury. So you may wonder why I didn't walk around Glastonbury showing you all the sights. It's because so many of the things I mentioned, actually photography and filming is forbidden. So I thought, let's just keep it simple and do it from my home here. So all the love to you. Thank you very much.